Hi guys, back again. This is Günther, this time here from the Bay of Kotor, from Montenegro, from NATO member Montenegro. And it's very hot here. I have my sunglasses and I'm here in the Bay of Kotor, this time from a different perspective. You see, this over there is Perast, here on that side actually, over there. This old Venetian town, extremely beautiful. And then in the back it's the Bay of Kotor, and over there you see then the Bay of Herceg-Novi and Tiva, Porto Montenegro, all these beautiful places. It's really amazing. But also here, it's a bit the less famous side, but it's called Morin, the Tramontana. It's really beautiful and I love it. It's amazing. I'm very privileged. We are now spending our holidays here, and actually since 16 years. And it's extremely beautiful. I really love it, and I have developed a development concept for the whole bay. Nobody read it, but no matter. I love this bay, and I want to be here at lunchtime now in the heat and talk about the price of peace. Because Montenegro is the role model, what really can be achieved when you really want progress. Yeah? It can be done. NATO membership can be done. The euro is the currency. There is no dinar here or something like this. Yeah? There is no Montenegro currency. It's just the euro. Simple, fair, fine. And this is good. And Montenegro, despite all the problems and the massive Russian investment and the pressure, has kept a very pro-European foreign policy line, putting all these sanctions on the table, the same like in the EU. Montenegro is fully compliant with what we do in the European Union. Montenegro is small, Montenegro is reforming, Montenegro is perfect role model for everybody from Ukraine to Georgia to Moldova, also especially for Serbia. And we need Serbia, this is similar to Montenegro, and there will be peace in Europe with the euro, with the NATO membership of Serbia. And this is actually why I make this video here now at the special place. This is now NATO. Here it is, the NATO Bay. The 6th Navy keeps this bay and all the people who live here and all the people of Montenegro secure. If there's a problem, Montenegro simply call the 6th Navy, sends the cruise missiles, it will be fine. And this is security. And this is the miracle of freedom, protected by American firepower. And this is what I believe in. And this is Montenegro. And they have been different. Behind that, if you look over the mountains here, here's Bosnia. A lot of war was going on, obviously, in the 90s. And many Montenegrins fought there. Beyond there is Dubrovnik. Many have fought there, here for Montenegro. Here is the so-called Lager. These buildings over there, they were prisoners of war camps up there in the mountains. They're still there, visible, smaller ones. Yeah? Here, many people from Dubrovnik were in prison and they were tortured, and it was terrible. And there is to this day an association of the former inmates of these prisoners of war of this camp. And so, you know, Morin is a good symbol for what is needed. Reconciliation and peace, and especially with Montenegro and Croatia, this bilateral relation, the Prevlaka Peninsula out there. I will also make a video about that one. But what is important here in Morin is to make reconciliation with Croatia and make a signal for peace and make it clear that Montenegro is a European, obviously a NATO member, and is now ready for 2024. And what I say, this is important. It's the price for peace, because this should be the role model also for the whole more complicated countries, Bosnia, Serbia and Kosovo. They are obviously in a kind of triple interbind, and this has to be broken by clear leadership. And what is necessary is to make clear that Macedonia, Albania and Bosnia adopt the euro now, like Montenegro and Kosovo have done already. And also that Montenegro, Kosovo and Bosnia join the WTO together with Serbia, a triple accession. And then the peace deal, and that's what I think it's time, is the offer the Europeans have to make, because the Americans can basically offer NATO membership, not alone, but they can do that, yeah? More or less. Yeah? But the Europeans and the Germans have to do the euro for Serbia as the price for peace. In order to get that going, it is absolutely necessary for Macedonia, Albania and Bosnia to euroize now. And then everybody in the middle class, every consumer in Serbia will understand. They come anyhow in the summer here, they have relatives here from Serbia here, they come to Montenegro, they know the euro is much better currency, much harder, much better, much more working, much more better for all aspects of a currency. And then they understand that the offer to euroize Serbia in the recognition for Kosovo this October. We have no time to waste. Do we want to wait for Putin to intervene another time in a European country or make a big mess? The offer must be very clear on the table. Here, Mr. Vucic, you are anyhow autocrat. You have a majority in your parliament. Force that kind of the kind of Kosovo recognition on the Serbian parliament whenever they don't want it. They will obey your orders. I'm confident. And the price at the same time, in order to make that feasible, is that the euro from the 1st of 2021. And if we need one more year, okay, it will be just more complicated. But okay, it can be also 2023. But it must be simultaneously the recognition and the euro. This is the way. The euro and the recognition of Kosovo is a double kind of package deal for Serbia, and obviously together then a direction towards NATO and towards the EU in the end of this decade. And for Kosovo and for Bosnia faster, so the voters in Serbia will understand where the direction goes. And we have the price for peace. All of them have to pay, everybody has to pay, and the European taxpayers will pay massively for it. There's no doubt. Mr. Hahn with his 9 billion is just about 30% of what is needed. And obviously there must be a financial price, this must be paid. There must be a price for the Kosovo citizens. I made that already very clear, that the Kosovo citizens have also to pay a price because they have not to claim civil damages for all the wartime atrocities Serbia has committed against them. That's a huge compromise. And the Europeans have to make a compromise that Serbia is not going to first in the EU and then in the Eurozone and maybe in 2040 in the Euro, but immediately. Comes also with risks and with cost attached, but it's manageable. It's manageable in the bigger things we have, and we have the proof here with Montenegro. And again, Montenegro is the role model for Serbia. Be like Montenegro and you are welcome. Oh, sorry, that was too much cable, too much emotion. And then, as beautiful as it is, it's also safe and it's prosperous despite the corona. But also Serbia and Kosovo and Bosnia have to achieve that. And for that we need the euro, now in Albania, Macedonia and in Bosnia, and also to make a comprehensive deal a bit later, and now just to get the recognition in exchange for the euro's currency for Serbia. And I think that is the deal. And here I call for the American and European decision makers not to waste any more time. Always remember, behind the mountains lay the war of Bosnia and the war in Croatia. Here it's now peace, and prosperity. See the yachts, see how it works. Here is really unbelievable level of prosperity now accumulated, especially in the Upper Bay. I will try to also visit that one and show you some of this. But it's amazing, and it's Montenegro. And please, we have to be a little bit more active. I also called Europe brain dead now, like Macron called NATO. But actually it's not, obviously. He is brain dead in many ways if he says such things. And I don't want to be blamed to be brain dead. But here in this beautiful setting, I make it very clear. As I made it already in 2002 when I was first time here in Montenegro, I made the so-called Montenegro Declaration about independence. Did it have an impact? I hope so. I don't know, but it was very much in the Sveti Stefan we drafted it, and many people were upset. But nevertheless, it's a role model for success. 20 years later, I'm back here and I can verify. It's amazing success, Montenegro in NATO. The bay is safe. It was once Austrian, by the way, and it was Venetian for 1,000 years in Paris. You can see when they took the big painting, when they took in the Venetian flag, when the French took over with Napoleon, and then the Austrian inherited it, and then Yugoslavia, and then the fascists from Italy, and then Nazis, and then Yugoslavia under Tito, and the whole mess of the world. Has undergone so many changes because it's so beautiful, but now it's for NATO and it's in forever. And that's very good. So I just can not understand why anybody is not in NATO. That's my first thing. The second thing, very clear, why the euro can be rejected by anybody, I don't understand. And why the Europeans are so reluctant to really get going, as we have seen now in the Berlin process and also in the Prespa thing. A lot of talk, a lot of conferences, but little substantive progress, and this has to change now. We have to get going, and it's the moment to do it, and the Montenegro model is the right one, and I call for Serbia and Kosovo to make peace and Serbia to get the euro as a prize for the recognition, and best do it on the 5th of October 2021. It's about time. Thanks a lot. For peace from Montenegro. More to come.